Mario, appreciate it.
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. My name's BJ Rains. I'm with Bronco Nation News. I'm heading down to the basketball game in Logan tonight. So appreciate you doing this. What just, how'd this opportunity come about? I know you had parted ways or whatever the wording was, there. What was the last month like or the time? And how'd you end up getting the job? What was the connection to arrive here in Boise?
Yeah, I was just looking, searching, seeing where the next opportunity was going, talking to a lot of different schools, and KB actually got the job, the new running back coach, and he called me up. We've known each other a long time, just in the recruiting circles, and he called me and said he thinks the corner's job might be open and would I be interested. And so once that kind of happened, the ball started rolling, and I played college football with Tim Keene and Tim Plow. And I knew Frank Male from Utah State. I knew Kane from Montana State. And so I knew a bunch of the guys. So I was excited about the opportunity. And then when I got the Zoom call with Coach Avalos, really just felt how much passion there was for the Bronco logo and just the whole program is got a lot of pride. They really bleed blue, and so it was something that I wanted to be a part of, something that was special, something that was long term. I mean, again, I've been a part of my program for 14 years before this, and so it felt like a family, and a lot of people wanted to be a part of it, and so it got me excited. And when I got the opportunity, I jumped at it, and I was really excited.
What about, being a head coach and now going back to being a position coach? You obviously get a chance now to do more coaching when you have, your smaller group of guys and when you're kind of the CEO, so to speak, as the head coach. What's just your excitement level to get back to having your own group and getting to do more kind of the actual coaching part of football?
I'm excited. I mean, my first job was I was 22 years old, and then I was a coordinator at, 20 something. And then I was a young head coach. So this is the first time I've actually felt like qualified for a job that I'm getting, and excited to just go back and see how I can get better and how I can help these young men be better football players, better students, and eventually be able to use these tools that they learn at Boise State to be successful. So I'm really excited about the opportunity just to hone in on a couple guys and try to make them the best that they can be.
And final one for me, what do you know about your group? I don't know if you've watched much film or look at the roster at time, but what do you make of the group you have at this point going into next season?
I know I've had a great time. I mean, I wake up early and text them every morning to make sure that they're at weights. And within 5 minutes at 5:30 in the morning, they're texting me back. So Markel and Biggs obviously were the two guys that had the most reps last year. Tariq has had a great career as a Bronco, and then Jared's a senior that has had a lot of experience that I know people are talking about gaining some playing time. So those four seniors, man, I came into a really good group, and it's my job to develop those guys underneath them so that we can be good for a long time. But it's been a great leadership in the room, and again, they've been on point ever since I've been here and been able to get up on time and be ready to go and compete.
Hey, appreciate it. Look forward to working with you. Welcome to town.
Thanks, BJ.
He mentioned Caleb Biggers, guys. We'll have some news coming out hopefully tomorrow on our super seniors and some roster info. So maybe embargo that as well. Will Hall, we'll let you go next.
Hey, Demario, nice to meet you. My name is Will Hall. I work at Channel 7 here in Boise. Welcome to town. First things first, how tough was it to leave your job as head coach at Southern Utah?
It's tough. I love that place. Cedar's always going to be home. I've lived in Cedar longer than anywhere else in my life. If it wasn't for that place, I mean, my wife and I, the bond that we were able to build as a young couple moving there at 22 years old and having 3 kids there, and we already had one as we moved. So, I mean, we grew our family there. That's where our family grew up and grew tight-knit. And so Cedar's an amazing place. And again, hard to leave, hard to say goodbye, but really excited about going into this opportunity. Again, being a Davis person, I've always wanted to work for Chris Peterson. And so this is the closest thing that I can get to right now is to be at Boise and where he helped build, him and Dan Hawkins and Dirk Cutter. And so really excited about the history of the program. And then again, just being around the staff, there's a ton of pride that goes into it and really excited about it. But yeah, definitely hard to leave Cedar City.
Kind of piggybacking off that, you mentioned that you played with both Tim Keene and Tim Plow. How would you describe your relationship with that duo?
Good, good. I've talked to Plow a lot. Tim Keene, not as much. He was a little bit older when I played, but Tim and I were Plow and I were the same class. And so when he started at quarterback, I was the starting running back there. And so we've stayed in touch, and we've had some battles throughout the year. I mean, when he was at Northern Arizona, he was the OC, I was the DC. Went against him when he was at Davis, when we won a couple of our championships down at Southern Utah. So yeah, always respected what he did, always wanted to coach with him. And so it's a great opportunity to be able to coach with both of them, because Keene obviously has had a great career as well, and been able to really make a name for himself in the O-line world.
In your opinion, what makes a good cornerback?
One, you got to run. I mean, that's one of my biggest things. If you could run, we can teach you a lot of other things. And so we liked length in our system. I mean, we were pressing a lot. And so we want to make sure that the guys can stay with any receiver in the country, foot for foot. And we can do that. We got a great opportunity. But after that, man, we're looking for length. We're looking for hips. If you can open up your hips. And then I always want that toughness. Can you compete? At the end of the day, there's three ways that we can win. We can win at the line, we can catch up, or we can finish. And the receivers got to do it all. And as a corner, you just got to get one of those things right. If you can lock them up at the line, they're probably not going that way. If you get behind and you finish the play, that's an incomplete pass. And so we just want our guys that are not going to give up and stay in the fight and be able to compete. And that's really what Boise State's all about. And so I'm excited to be in the program that's going to be preaching the same things that we need to have great corners.
Thanks, Demario. Welcome to Boise.
Thank you, Will.
Jay Tust, are you chiming in?
I'm good if you guys are. Demario, when it comes to I'm Jay, Channel 7. Nice to meet you, Demario. Welcome to Boise. Sorry, I skipped over that step.
No, you're good.
When it comes, I know you talked about this a little bit, but when you go from being a head coach and you have to have such a broad view of your program, and you're kind of involved in a little bit of everything, and now going back to being a position coach, do you welcome kind of getting to narrow that focus? Does it make things fresh again at all for you? How does that kind of change your day to day?
Yeah, really excited about just getting to the nitty gritties of the techniques. Again, building those relationships. I think that was one of the hardest things for me as a head coach. I think that's my personality, is I make sure that I build relationships and get guys to play hard for me. And when you got 105 of those, it's a lot harder to do as a head coach. But I am really excited just to get with my group. I feel like Andy is in a similar position as I was a couple years ago, Coach Avalos, and I could see how bad he wants to be a successful head coach. And so for me, I just really need to do the best job I can be as a corners coach to help him out. And I think having that perspective of what I wanted from a position coach is going to help me a ton going back to this position, and just trying to be kind of what I wanted when I was a head coach, is just what I wanted from our assistant coaches day in and day out. And so just, again, a really good opportunity to jump it right into coming off of that last job.
We were talking with Kelly Papinga yesterday. He did his interview from a car. You're doing your interview from a car. I assume that you guys are out getting your feet on the ground, settling in, finding where you need to live. Probably a nice, easy introduction to living in Boise, right?
Yeah. They shipped us in, and then they shipped us out to go on the road recruiting. But it's been awesome. Like I said, the short time we were in Boise was awesome. We'll get back there Friday. My wife told me we bought a house yesterday, so so we're fired up, ready to go.
That might be your toughest task that you have moving to Boise. I'm not going to lie. We have a pretty hot housing market, so congrats with that. You found your home a lot faster than the other guys found their homes last year. I promise you. One thing that Kelly brought up yesterday is that when he was talking with Spencer Danielson and Andy Avalos, is that he felt like terminology and scheme, they really believed in the same thing, and they've kind of even preached the same thing. Maybe just the vernacular was a little different, or needs he'll have to learn that. But how do you feel like you connect with what Andy Avalos's vision is for that cornerback position?
Yeah, honestly, we did a lot of the same stuff. When I was a D coordinator back in 2015, we ran a very similar defense. Again, some of the words are different, but the thing that I'm going to learn is how they structure installs and some of those things that they just do a little different here, and they take pride in it. And that those are the things I'm really excited about going into spring ball, because again, we ran a very similar defense, but the way they teach it and the way that they install it is a lot different than when we did it. And so I'm really excited to learn that. And again, just trying to figure out how I fit and can help make our corners the best that they can be.
And then one more for me too. You look at the defensive staff, and I don't know how well you've got to know many of them yet, but you're all under 40, and you've all at least carried a co-defensive coordinator title, if not a head coach title, obviously, in your tenures. How does that help? How do you feel like that will make the group better?
Just some of the success we've had. I mean, Frank was at Utah State. They were really good at points. Kelly was at BYU in Virginia when they've kind of turned some programs around. And then Danielson's been doing it here, and Kane's did it at an FCS powerhouse. So I think we all got some good perspective and experience that we can lean on. I don't think we all know exactly what we want to get accomplished, but when those moments come up, we're going to have not only experience, but references of what worked and what didn't work. And so that's the thing I'm most fired up. I got a good group of guys, first and foremost, some of the best coaches on the West Coast. Like, I knew a lot of these guys before because they were good people and I gravitated towards them. And so now to be able to work with them and learn from them, it's going to be a phenomenal experience for us on the defensive side for sure. And I know they got great coaches on the offensive side as well.
Demario, thanks again. Welcome.
Thanks, Jake.
Woost.
Hey, Demario, John Worcester, Idaho Press. Welcome to Boise.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it.
Yep. Well, and my internet crashed at the beginning of this, so I apologize if any of these questions are repeats. But 14 years at Southern Utah, your entire professional career, coaching career at one place. Just how kind of strange is it to kind of start at a new place, and what's kind of the differences like between here and Southern Utah?
Yeah, Demario Warren from Boise State. That's been a constant theme on the recruiting trail. I've said that so many times. It's easy for me to say Southern Utah, rolls off the tongue. So so getting that Boise vernacular down has been a little hard on the recruiting trail. But it's completely opposite. Southern Utah, we were underdogs. We had to have that role. Nobody expected us to win. We didn't have any championships before Coach Lamb took over in 2008, and we were able to win 3 championships in my time there. And so we had that underdog mentality that no one expected us to win. Even when we won championships, we were still picked middle of the pack. And coming to Boise State, I could tell already, losing is not an option. And
Go ahead.
Oh yes. So that's the biggest thing. I think it is we expect to win. We're supposed to win, and we're going to put the time and effort to make sure that we are winning. And so that's probably the biggest difference. But as far as the values of the programs, the work ethic of the programs, I think it really aligns, and I think that's what got me excited, especially that family feel that Boise has.
Was the expectation, was that kind of what drew you to the program, or brought you here? Take me through the whole process.
Yeah, when I got the call and they showed some interest, it was like, this is where I want to be at. Again, I knew a lot of the staff, but I want to win. Like, it's you work a lot of hours, and so to be able to celebrate is awesome. And some of the lessons that you try to teach as a coach, some life lessons, they sink in a lot more when you're winning. And so I think some of the things that I bring to the table as far as just mentoring is going to go over better when you're winning football games. And so I'm excited to teach those lessons, and when they get to see those things translates into wins and translates into success, I got a better chance of those guys really holding on to those habits and holding on to those lessons as they grow older and build their own families.
I heard a bit of your answer to BJ's question about kind of the roster you have, but having so many players, who kind of you kind of had to, the team this year kind of had to switch around the rotation due to injuries and other things. Just how excited are you to coach an experienced group like this, or a young experienced group, I guess?
Yeah, it'll be fun and challenging. I'm taking over for a legend, Boise State legend. I mean, he played here, went to the NFL, and so I'm coming from a different perspective than he is. Obviously, I've been coaching a little bit longer, but he can talk from his playing experience, and so that obviously that's a challenge. I'm coaching guys that had success at Boise State, so they do things a certain way, and so my biggest challenge is learning what we do, what our culture is, and then trying to make sure that I fit in it and just elevate it as high as we possibly can go. And so that's my challenge right now. I'm learning as much as I can, learning what the culture is all about, and then being able to have such an experienced group. I'm going to lean on them to teach me what I need to know so I can help them grow and help them be better.
All right. Thanks a lot, Demario, and welcome again.
Thanks, John.
Next up, Ron Counts.
Hey, Coach. Ron Counts from the Idaho Statesman. Sorry I was late to the call. I'll go out and run some laps as soon as it's over. Give you some up downs or something.
No problem.
Welcome to town, Coach. Obviously, as you know, a huge part of the job is recruiting. So if you would, just tell me your overall recruiting philosophy. What does a Demario Warren guy look like? And tell me a little bit about your connections in around the country.
Yeah, I think for me, it's always been a school fit. Like, what is our culture all about? What is our program all about? And so our program is about hardworking guys.
Oh, you got muted.
The guys that we're looking for. As far as corners go, we're looking for long, athletic, fast guys that compete. We want competitors. And so those are the type of guys that we want to bring in. And that's what I've been out here doing, is looking for some guys that can run and guys that can compete and do things right on a daily basis, because Boise State has a rich tradition of doing things the right way and being very successful at competing. And so that's what we're looking for. And so I have the Ventura area all the way down to Palmdale, Lancaster, and then the whole coast up to the Bay Area. I'm from Fairfield, California, the Bay Area. And so hopefully building a pipeline there would be awesome to get out to Boise. I think it's a quick flight over from any of those little airports, and getting them to Boise and showing what kind of grit that area has and is known for.
And apologies if this has already been asked, but how well did you know Andy before getting the job, and what has stood out about him so far?
Never knew him at all. They never talked to him, spoke to him. So it was awesome that I got the call. But I think a lot of our values, a lot of our beliefs line up perfectly. And he is very passionate about this program. He works his guts out to make sure that he's doing everything that he can for us to be successful. And again, just inspired me to want to help him. Again, I've been a head coach. It didn't finish the way I wanted to finish, but I did win a championship as a head coach. And so he really just inspired me to just want to help him be successful, because he cares that much, he works that much, and he wants to do things the right way. And I think that's what I've learned the most in the first week that I've been there. And again, just really inspired me to just want to help him be successful.
And so how did the last couple of weeks unfold for you? I mean, you mentioned Andy reached out to you about the job. Just walk me through the interview process and things like that.
Yeah, I Zoomed on a Wednesday. They wanted to fly me out of Vegas, so I drove down to Vegas on a Thursday, flew out on a Friday, interviewed, and then flew back, got an offer on Saturday, and drove out on Monday. So it was pretty quick. But like I said, when they started talking to me, I knew this was the school I wanted to coach for. And I was just really fortunate and excited when they offered me an opportunity. And like I said, I jumped at it, and I didn't want to waste any time. I got a car, drove out here, and we've been here ever since. And now I'm trying to get my family out here as soon as possible, so we can get the whole family back together. I got 4 kids, so I miss my kids, and I just want to be back with them.
Sure. And last one for me, you spent several seasons as the head coach at Southern Utah. What'd you learn in that experience that you think is going to kind of benefit you for the rest of your career?
I think I know who I am. I mean, like I said, I was at the top and at the bottom, and I realized the only thing that wins and losses changes people's perspective of you. If you can do the right thing and treat people the right way, the people in the program know what you're all about. I think you can have successes. And I think that was the biggest lesson, man. I feel like I know who I am because I was able to stick to it even when things weren't going the right way. And working for a coach like Coach Avalos, I think I can be myself and do things the right way, because that's what he's all about. And so other than that, there's a lot of other lessons that I know. I think God puts you in some weird situations and puts you in situations that you don't know the lessons at the time. But in the future, you figure out, oh, that's why I went through that. So I think there's a lot of that still has to take place. But there's a lot of lessons that I learned from Southern Utah. And again, I'm so grateful for the opportunities that I had there and wish them the best of luck. And I'll always be a T-Bird fan for sure.
Thanks, Coach. Look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
All right, sir, I think we're good.